Hello, how y'all doing tonight? It is your girl, B. Valise, with Tried and True Financial Services, where we help entrepreneurs with the ABCs of finance to simplify your accounting, budgeting, and credit processes. So I'm coming in tonight. I wanted to just have a quick little fireside chat with you all about record keeping, about good record keeping when it comes to taxes, when it comes to your books and things like that. So I want you guys to come on in. And so I want to make sure that as we trek towards, we're in third quarter, right? So as we trek towards the end of the year, I want you guys to make sure that you're set up for success, okay? Because we winning, and we winning, all right? So I want to make sure that you all are set up for success. I want to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what you need to make sure that you are keeping good records for yourself and your business. All right. So come on in here, y'all. Let's talk about this money. Let's talk money. All right. It's Tried and True Financial Services with your girl B. Valise, and it is Tax Tip Tuesday, and I want to come and talk to y'all about how to keep some good tax records. Okay, this is going to be quick. I'm not going to keep you all long, but I do want to share this critical information with you all, because when you know better, you do better, right? And I want you guys to know, I want you guys to be armed with the information that you need to make sure that you're taking a little bit of the burden off when it comes to keeping track of your critical documents for your taxes and your financials and your record keeping. So even if, and you should be, I highly recommend it for all of my business owners, even if you are using a software service like QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, or what have you, you still need to make sure that you're keeping adequate books and records. So when it comes to, basically, QuickBooks is set up where you attach your bank accounts, you attach your credit card accounts, you attach any accounts that you're flowing money through. If you have Stripe, a merchant account, if you have your Stripe, your PayPals, whatever accounts that you have, you're going to attach those to QuickBooks so that the data automatically feeds into QuickBooks, right? All right. And so then at the end of the month, either you or your bookkeeper or your accountant, right, you're going to go in and you're going to reconcile those transactions. You're going to match those transactions up. You're going to take your bank statement and you're going to match it up to what's in QuickBooks to make sure that everything is accurate. Because, technology isn't perfect. Right. So there may be some inconsistencies, or you may need to categorize those transactions. Well, on your statements, whether it's your bank statement or your credit card statement, when you took that card and you swiped to pay for your business lunch, all right, in case of an audit, your credit card statement or your bank statement is not sufficient documentation. You still need the receipt. All right. So you want to make sure that even that you're keeping your receipts, but I recommend keeping them electronically. And then QuickBooks has already built in a functionality within their software where you can scan. You want to just take your cell phone and take a picture of your receipt. You want to make sure that you write on your receipt what that meeting was for, who you met with, what the business purpose was. You want to write that on your receipt before you take the picture of it. All right. You take the picture of it, you snap the picture of it, and then you upload it or you attach it to that transaction in QuickBooks. Or you upload it to the shared documents area. And when your accountant or your bookkeeper goes in there to reconcile your transactions for the month, they can match those receipts to the transactions, and now you have adequate books and records when it comes to for audit purposes, right? And so then you can get rid of those receipts because you have them. I recommend even once you upload them to QuickBooks, right, you want to have an electronic record where you're keeping all of those receipts, right? And I would even put the name of the file as the restaurant that you went to, who you met with, and maybe the dollar amount or the date. So it's easier for you or your accountant or your bookkeeper to locate that transaction in the system and attach it to that transaction, right? So then you're audit ready. God forbid, you get an audit, but if and when that does happen, then you don't have to sweat, you don't have to stress, you don't have to worry about it, because you have all of your things in order, right? And if you do it on a regular and ongoing basis, you make a habit of it, then it's less burdensome. You don't want to show up nowhere. Okay, nowhere. You don't want to show up nowhere, not to your accountant's office, not to your bookkeeper. You don't want to show up to a Zoom meet. You don't want to show up nowhere with a box of receipts. That's old school. That's dead. It's dead. Don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that to nobody. Don't do that. Make sure that you're keeping track of your records on a regular and consistent basis, and you do your part. If you've hired and you outsourced it to someone else, please know that you have not removed yourself from the situation. You're still going to play an ongoing and active role in the process of making sure that the person that you hired has the documents that they need, the documentation that they need to do an awesome job for you, right? And so let's talk a little bit about how long you have to keep these documents. How long do I have to keep all of this stuff? Well, so if you're filing your taxes on a regular and consistent basis, the longest you need to keep tax records after you filed your taxes is 3 years. All right, 3 years is long enough for you to keep up with those documents. So you want to keep those records. You want to keep your tax returns. You want to keep your financial statements. You want to keep your receipts. You want to keep your W-2s, your any 1099s. You want to keep all of that information after you filed your taxes for at least 3 years. Okay, because if the IRS is going to audit, then they're going to do it within 3 years. They can go up to maybe they'll go back maybe as far back as 6 years, but chances are, after 3 years, you're good. Now, if you haven't filed your taxes, then you have to hold on to that stuff until you file your taxes. Yeah, you want to keep it. So that's another reason why you want to go ahead and file your taxes and get it over with, so you can get this, because we're living, we're moving, we're breathing each and every day, and stuff just piles up. Are you a hoarder? Are you hoarding stuff? Don't be a hoarder. Do what you got to do. File that stuff, get it out of here, and get it out of here. Okay, let's do the right thing. Now, let's talk a little bit about so I talked a little bit about keeping the receipts for like just general everyday stuff, right? What if you're in the real estate industry and you have property? Okay, so I've said 3 years from the time that you filed. Well, when it comes to physical assets like property, you are going to have to keep your records for as long as you have that property. And then 3 years after that, right? So even if you have property and you filed your taxes and 3 years have come and you still hold that asset, then you don't want to get rid of your records. You want to keep, if you have record keeping for assets that you still hold title to, then you need to keep that for as long as you hold title to that property. Okay, so if you're fixing and flipping, once you flip the property and you filed your taxes, 3 years after that, you're good. You can get rid of the documents. But if you're a landlord, right, and you're renting out property, when you filing your taxes and you're taking depreciation on that property that you own, then you're going to have to hold on to those documents and the receipts and all of that kind of stuff for as long as you hold title to that property. Does that make sense? Am I making things a little bit clearer for you? Am I answering your questions? Does anybody have any questions for me tonight? Let's see. All right. Okay, well, if y'all don't have no questions, just know that when it comes to your record keeping as business owners, as entrepreneurs, you can keep track of your profit and loss on a simple spreadsheet. But once you're tracking and you're really got things going, I definitely recommend a software. I use our Intuit products, so that's what I recommend. QuickBooks Online, it's very user friendly, and it's very accessible, especially if you're using an online version versus the desktop version, because you can access it anywhere. You can get the app on your phone, you can get it on your tablet, and you can go up and look at your stuff from anywhere. Okay, so that's what I recommend. I do have a discount code that you can use if you want to get if you're new to QuickBooks Online and you need a discount. All right, I do have a discount code up on my website under the links tab. So if you go up on www.triedandtruefs.com and click on the links tab, then you can find the link there to save 30% on your QuickBooks software for the first 6 months. All right. So I hope that helps. I hope this is good information for you guys. I hope it's encouraging you all to go ahead and make sure that you're snapping those receipts, you're keeping those receipts, you're keeping good records, you're running your month-end reconciliations, you're generating your profit and loss statements, so that when it comes tax time, you are in good shape to go ahead and get your taxes done, and you're not procrastinating and pushing it off, because fraud is at an all-time high, and you want to make sure that you're keeping things fraud proof and that you're staying on top of everything. So this segment of Tax Tip Tuesday, again, has been brought to you by your girl, B. Valise, with Tried and True Financial Services, where we help entrepreneurs with the ABCs of finance to simplify your accounting, budgeting, and business credit processes. Bye for now, and we'll see you on next week. Have a good night.